Ladies and gentlemen, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys my Week 15 NFL reactions. As we get closer and closer to the end of the season, the MVP conversation is going to be heating up. The awards reactions and everything, they're going to be heating up. So I'm just going to give you guys like a little future video they're going to make. At the end of the football season, immediately after Week 18, I'm going to be giving you guys my end season NFL awards, like me personally, from what I've seen this NFL season. Disclaimer as usual, if you disagree with anything I say, please let me know down in the comments what you change, what you disagree with, anything like that. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Cue the intro. Beginning with the absolute snooze fest, not even scoring one single touchdown this entire game from either team. We got the Rams beating the 49ers. Like, I know like, the defenses are both, like, you know, they were both on point, but, like, not even being able to score a single touchdown, that's insane. The defense, again, like, holding the 49ers offense. Yes, the 49ers offense to only 6 points. Darius Williams had the interception. 49ers, again, like, Brock Purdy had an absolutely horrendous game. Rushing, passing, defense wasn't as good as the Rams. It's just everything about the 49ers this year has been terrible. The Rams have been by far the better team than the 49ers. The Rams really deserve to win the division. Like, overall, nobody in the NFC West deserves to win that division. They're like the NFC South from last year. But if I had to choose one person that has really earned it the most out of those four, it's got to be the Rams, 100%. Alright, now game number 2. We got Texans beating the Dolphins, two teams that have been horrendously bad this year. I know their records might not say it, especially Houston's, but, like, man, Tua Tagovailoa, like, what was wrong with him? He had so many terrible picks. It was like trying to see the Bears try to draft a quarterback, if you know what I mean. Devon Achane, not really the best rushing running back this entire season, but has been a really, really productive receiving running back. Jonnu Smith had the touchdown. Tyreek Hill was very, very limited. Matter of fact, he physically gave an interception. Tyreek Hill should have caught that ball, but he gave the interception to Derek Stingley. And that is pretty much what cost Miami the game. Defense wasn't really much to speak about, although Jordan Brooks did have a forced fumble. Now looking at the Texans, C.J. Stroud. I can't believe I started C.J. Stroud over Baker Mayfield in my fantasy. C.J. Stroud, 18 for 26, 131, 2 touchdowns. He has not been a top 5 quarterback this year at all. Joe Mixon was very limited. Receivers were also very limited. Defense, I mean, Caleb Bullock and Derek Stingley Jr., they had the interceptions. Tim Settle Jr. Even had a forced fumble. Again, like, Dolphins, I mean, I kind of predicted this, like, they weren't going to be as good as last year. Boy, was I right about that. I mean, Texans, they kind of got whiplash a little bit for how quickly they turned around. Like, teams are really expecting what they're going to do now. Alright, and now we got the Cowboys beating the crap out of the Panthers. And I'm sorry to Bryce Young, but the Linsanity run might be over. Cooper Rush absolutely lit it up through the air. Rico Dowdle lit it up through the ground. CeeDee Lamb had a monstrous game. Defense was there. Panthers also, their defense was on the field. Bryce Young had he didn't have as bad of a game. I mean, he threw for over 200 yards. That's definitely a step up. But 2 picks. He fumbled twice, I heard. He had a rushing touchdown, though. Bryce Young overall, I mean, he had a really decent game. It's just that the team around him is absolutely terrible. He has grandfather Adam Thielen and Xavier Legette to throw to. Like, what do you expect him to do? Just overall, what do you expect Bryce Young to do? He has a terrible team around him, and then you're just expecting, like, overall, I feel like he should have gotten the Drake May treatment. I feel like he should have sat for maybe a couple games, the start of the season so they could really start to rebuild this team, and then he would have strided. But the fact that he came in like this early in the worst possible situation is why he's doing bad now. Cowboys, I mean, you guys got nothing to play for this season. So, I mean, you beat the Panthers. Is that what you want? Alright, and now, like, do my eyes deceive me? The Jets actually won a game. Wow, there you go. Aaron Rodgers actually had, he wasn't very accurate, but he actually had a half-decent game. That is insane. Breece Hall, he had a touchdown. He had a rushing touchdown, but receiving has not been that good. Like, it hasn't been nearly as good as we expected it to be this year. Davante Adams absolutely went off. He was on my fantasy team. Garrett Wilson. I don't know if you guys saw, but you saw Garrett. I saw Garrett Wilson absolutely just moaning and whining on the sidelines. He's probably going to request a trade from this garbage, awful franchise that cannot be saved. Defense, once again, I mean, it's the Jets' defense this year. And if my eyes don't deceive me, Sauce Gardner had an interception. Like, what? So did grandfather Jalen Mills. Mac Jones, I mean, wasn't as bad as he was in previous games, and that's saying something. Travis Etienne had an okay game on the ground. Overall, I mean, they got a pretty good rushing game going. Brian Thomas Jr., 10 receptions, 105 yards, 2 tutties. I mean, he did well. Defense, again, it's the Jags defense. What do you expect from them? Jets defense. Jets overall, I mean, they have, again, like the Cowboys, they got nothing to play for, so they're playing their hardest. I mean, I quite frankly, I'm surprised that they're not tanking so they can get a high pick so they can finally move on from Aaron Rodgers. Now we have the snooze fest of a defensive game. We have the Bengals, once again, their defense giving up 27 points to the Titans. Mason Rudolph came in because Will Levis was absolutely horrible, and he actually did way better than Levis, having 80 completion percentage, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 pick with just very little to work with. Tony Pollard was not the star running back in this game. Surprisingly, it was Tajay Spears, ran and caught for a touchdown. Now looking at the Bengals, once again, Joe Burrow, not really himself, surprisingly not passing for 300 yards in a game. The receiving was absolutely stacked. T. Higgins did well. Jamar Chase did well, even though he didn't have a touchdown. And then, defense was just as you would expect. It was horrible. And the Bengals really do have a lot of work to do this offseason, like, as I said. I mean, it's mind-blowing to me having Trey Hendrickson, Geno Stone, and Cam Taylor-Britt on the same defense. You guys can't even do anything. Like, it's stupid. And now we have the Ravens kicking the crap out of the Giants. I mean, not really surprising there because the Giants are trying to tank. Lamar Jackson, 21 for 25. He absolutely went off this entire game, as well as having 65 rushing yards, almost as much as Derrick Henry. Receiving was absolutely amazing. Rashad Bateman caught for 2 touchdowns. Justice Hill caught for 1. Devontae Walker caught for 1. Mark Andrews caught for 1. Defense, Adarius Washington had an interception, I'm sure, yeah. Tim Boyle, Tommy DeVito, they both were alternating at quarterback. It was just not really anything to speak of for the Giants. Ravens are pushing to get that number 1 seed in the AFC North, and by us beating the Steelers, that really helped you guys out. Now we have the Chiefs beating the crap out of the Browns. No shocker there because the Chiefs can only beat bad teams. And now, surprisingly, just rest in peace, Patrick Mahomes. He might be done for the season. I saw that injury. It was nasty. He's probably most likely going to be done for the season. And if he is, I don't think he is, but if he is done for the season with that ankle, then there's no coming back. Carson Wentz, my boy, had to come in, and immediately first play he got sacked. So it's kind of funny. Overall, there's not really much to speak about for both teams. I mean, but 4 total interceptions for the Browns this game. Xavier Worthy caught for a touchdown. He ran for a touchdown, and caught for 46 yards. Defense, I mean, holding the Browns to 7 points, not really that impressive. I mean, once again, Chiefs continue to beat up on bad teams, but as soon as they come up against a good team like the Bills, they get the crap knocked out of him. So, I mean, Chiefs, I mean, you guys are losing first round. There's no shocker about that. You guys will lose first round because you guys can't do anything other than beat bad teams and barely squeak by with some sort of magic. And now we have the Commanders barely beating the Saints when they didn't have Derek Carr and Jaden Daniels. I mean, he had an okay game. Actually, yeah, he had a pretty good game. Rushing, same with rushing too, averaging 6 yards a rush. Terry McLaurin caught for 2 touchdowns. Jaden Daniels is overall the greatest thing to ever happen to Terry McLaurin because Terry McLaurin has had to alternate through 10 different quarterbacks. Jaden Daniels is by far the best one. And then the defense, I mean, surprisingly wasn't able to hold the Saints. Spencer Rattler actually came in. He actually lit it up. Alvin Kamara has just continued to be absolutely terrible on the ground, but great when it comes to receiving. And then the defense, I mean, you're not going to hold the Saints defense right now. It's not going to be able to hold the Commanders offense. No way. But the Commanders, you guys are showing signs of weakness for us, and when the Eagles smell blood in the water, they are gonna attack. Now we have the Eagles kicking the crap out of the Steelers. I know the score might not say, but yeah, the Eagles had control of the entire game. Russell Wilson did not look like the Russell Wilson, I mean, who does look like themselves when they play us. Nothing going on the running game. Didn't do anything on the running game. Pat Freiermuth was the only one who caught for a touchdown. Cordero Patterson caught for -1 yard. Mike Williams, I mean, he caught, but I mean, overall, they needed George Pickens so badly this game, and he wasn't even. He's such a big factor to this offense. Defense, I mean, TJ Watt, he had a good game. He even had a forced fumble. I don't know why it doesn't say it right there, but I mean, I really hope he is okay. Eagles, Jalen Hurts absolutely lit it up through the air and through rushing. He ran for a touchdown. Once again, having another 3 touchdown games. Saquon was a little bit limited, but we all only ran the ball with him 19 times. Like, overall, like, it really seems that, like, the passing game is fine. It's just we needed to pass more. Like, this whole entire season, we've been only running with Barkley. If we would just pass a little bit more, then we would be unstoppable. I mean, it's not like we are already unstoppable. Huge games by Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown, 8 for 118 and a touchdown. Devontae Smith, 11 for 109 and another touchdown. For as many games as A.J. Brown has missed, he's still going to put up 1,000 yards. That's why A.J. Brown is the best receiver in the NFL. And then the defense, as you'd expect, Darius Slay forced out a fumble, no interceptions, but a lot of tackles and very, very, very disruptive defense. Nolan Smith and Josh Sweat just continue to be the elite 2 edge rushers that we have. And then the defense, honestly, sorry, not the defense. Eagles overall might be the best team in the NFC, and there's no debate about that after the Lions lost to the Bills. And now we have what I consider to be the biggest choke in the entire season so far. And that was the Colts losing to the Broncos after they had a size lead on the Broncos. Anthony Richardson, once again, was absolutely terrible. And I know he did run for a touchdown, but this entire year, he's just been absolutely atrocious. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, once again, it was just not great. Maybe next time, don't let go of the ball before you hit the goal line. Michael Pittman, 6 receptions for 58 yards, no touchdowns. Again, no touchdowns. Anthony Richardson's passing this year has been just absolutely, like, just I don't even know. There's no word to describe how bad his passing has been this year. Defense, I mean, they started out hot, but then just got flat out annihilated at the end, and that could bring me to the Broncos, where Bo Nix by far didn't have his best game. 3 touchdowns for 3 picks. Like, that's not the Bo Nix that we've seen this year. Again, like, you guys have absolutely no running game. You guys need to draft a running back. Hopefully you guys can get Ashton Jeanty, but we all know the Cowboys are going to get Ashton Jeanty because you guys are going to have a high pick because you guys are going to go to the playoffs for the first time in forever. And then Courtland Sutton, 3 receptions for 32 yards, did have a touchdown. Nate Adkins, he also had a touchdown. Adam Trotman, he even had a touchdown as well. And then the defense, I mean, again, started off cold, but then just got hotter and hotter as the game went on, and then they just flat out annihilated the Colts offense at the end. So, good luck to the Broncos. I mean, I hope you guys go to the playoffs because I really want to see Bo Nix in the playoffs, see how he really does. I mean, so he can show his true colors. I mean, again, like Colts, they got nothing to play for, and even when they don't have anything to play for, they still can't get anything going. So, next. And now we have the Buccaneers absolutely pulverizing the Chargers. Again, like Baker Mayfield just continues to be a very elite passer this season. 22 for 27, 288, 4 touchdowns, only 1 pick. Bucky Irving, 15 for 117. It was a lead on the ground. Mike Evans absolutely had himself a monster day. Rachaad White even caught for a touchdown. Jalen McMillan continues to be a great fill-in for Chris Godwin. And then the defense, I mean, as you would expect, is very, very, very disruptive. And that can bring me to the Chargers, where Justin Herbert, I did hear he did get hurt during the game, but before that he was really good. He only threw his 2nd interception in the entire season. Gus Edwards, again, no run game. Quentin Johnson caught for 1, Ladd McConkey caught for 1. It's really good to have him back because Ladd McConkey's been this, besides Justin Herbert, Ladd McConkey has been this entire offense. Defense just absolutely got ran over. Chargers, I mean, they may start to lose. Honestly, they're starting to lose momentum a little bit. Buccaneers really want to prove that they want that division more than the Falcons. And honestly, they've done a great job these past 3 weeks. Now we have probably the game of the year. I know I said that last Buffalo Bills game versus the Rams, but this game really hit different. Josh Allen, once again, absolutely lighting it up through the air and lighting it up through the ground, having 4 total touchdowns. James Cook absolutely had a day for himself as well. Khalil Shakir had a receiving touchdown. Ray Davis had a receiving touchdown. And Cook. And Ty Johnson was their leading receiver, even though he's a running back. He had 5 receptions for 114 yards as a running back. When was the last time you saw a running back catch for over 100 yards? It's interesting. Defense, non-existent. Lions, that could bring me here, where Jared Goff absolutely mashed this entire game, almost throwing for 500 yards and 5 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, I did hear that David Montgomery did get hurt, but Jahmyr Gibbs was a great fill-in for him. Just the receiving room was absolutely tremendous. Amon-Ra St. Brown having the game of his career. Tim Patrick having a touchdown. Jameson Williams having a touchdown. Jahmyr Gibbs having a touchdown. And Dan Skipper having a touchdown. Defense, non-existent. They haven't been the same ever since Aiden Hutchinson lost, because Aiden Hutchinson adds a whole new feeling to this offense. But yeah, overall, Bills, thank you so much. I really appreciate you beating the Lions, so the Eagles have a better shot at the number 1 seed. Really appreciate you and wish you guys the best of luck going forward. Lions, it's going to be a scrap for the number 1 seed, and we're going to continue to battle it out. Now we have the Cardinals kicking the crap out of the Patriots. Of course, Drake May, he was not really that good this game, but it was his first bad game in a little while. They got no run game. I mean, Ramondre Stevenson had an okay game. Demario Douglas caught for 1. And it's just, I mean, not much to speak about in the receiving room. Defense was non-existent. Looking at Kyler Murray, no touchdowns, no picks, 224 yards. He was pretty accurate too. Clayton, also heard he did get hurt. Clayton Tune had to come in. James Conner absolutely lit it up on the ground. He's been really their entire offense, as much I don't want to admit. But Marvin Harrison Jr., I mean, he had a good game today. But Marvin Harrison Jr. was not really what we thought this year. He was really underwhelming this entire year. Defense was very disruptive. Sean Murphy Bunting had the INT. I mean, Cardinals, I want to say they still have a shot, but it's just that losing all those games in a row just really didn't help. Patriots, much like all these other teams, they have nothing to play for, so they're just trying anything at this point. We have Sunday Night Football, which is the Packers absolutely destroying the Seahawks. And yeah, it's safe to say Jordan Love might be back. He had a monstrous game. He even ran. He had a rushing attempt. I haven't seen him have a rushing attempt in forever. Josh Jacobs just continues to be elite on the ground. Romeo Doubs caught for 2, but overall their leading receiver was in fact Christian Watson. The defense was absolutely insane. Edgerrin Cooper and Carrington Valentine. They both had interceptions, and Xavier McKinney and Jair Alexander didn't. Oh well. Anyway, Seahawks. Sam Howell, absolutely horrible. Geno Smith, absolutely horrible. Geno Smith did get hurt, but Sam Howell, I really don't want to see this guy ever on the field again. Please, for the love of God. Zach Charbonnet had a decent game. He's been a great fill-in for Kenneth Walker. Receiving core was just overall not really existent other than Jackson Smith and Jigba. Defense was horrible. Packers, they're trying to fight. I mean, they're technically not out of it for the NFC North. They still have a chance to win it. Seahawks, I don't want to see you guys win the division. I want to see the Rams do it. Right, and now we have the Vikings destroying the Bears. There have been a lot of blowouts this week. As much as I don't want to admit it, Caleb Williams has been a very, very underwhelming passer. The qualities of his throws have been good, but just kind of meh. DeAndre Swift had an okay game on the ground. Keenan Allen caught for the touchdown. Keenan Allen overall, he's had a pretty good second half. He started out slow, but then slowly, progressively got better. DJ Moore has been very underwhelming. Defense just could not get anything going. Looking at the Vikings, Sam Darnold had a pretty bad game. 24 for 40. He was not accurate. 231, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Aaron Jones had a great day on the ground. And an okay day receiving. Justin Jefferson, once again, doing Justin Jefferson things. Jordan Addison has been a really good backup to Justin Jefferson. And then the defense, as much they didn't really have a lot of sacks, so they didn't have any interceptions, but they were just so disruptive. The Bears have been terrible. Vikings, once again, are just battling it out. They're tied with the Lions right now for the NFC North. Finally, we have the absolute snooze fest of the game. We have the Falcons beating the Raiders. Someone get Brock Bowers a backpack because he has carried this team. I just cannot believe how much he's carried. Honestly, and then just Desmond Ridder came in this game. They're just switching between. They're just alternating all 3 quarterbacks. Minshew, O'Connell, and Desmond Ridder. They're just trying anything at this point. They're trying to take so they can get the number 1 seed so they can draft either Shedeur Sanders or Cam Ward. They don't have a running game at all. 0 running game. Zamir White has been non-existent. Amir Abdullah has been non-existent. Alexander Madison's been okay, but not really good. Amir Abdullah did have the receiving touchdown. The defense was very disruptive as much as it doesn't look like it. It was very, very disruptive. Max Crosby, I really hope he's okay. and I wish him a speedy recovery because he was my pick to win Defensive Player of the Year, and that's not shaping out to be. Kirk Cousins only threw the ball 17 times because you just gave Bijan all of those attempts, and boy, did that work out. Kirk Cousins has been absolutely awful this year. 18 touchdowns, 18 touchdowns, 16 interceptions total this year. Like, that's horrible. Drake London, I mean, I really hope that Drake London can get a decent quarterback because everyone went into the season thinking that Kirk Cousins was going to be elite, and he's just not because, I mean, what did you expect? He's a 30-year-old. I said this before the year. Like, he's a 36-year-old quarterback coming off of Achilles injury. I'm pretty sure it was Achilles. And then the defense was just absolutely so disruptive. Jesse Bates and Justin Simmons, the safety duo, the terrible twos. They had a great game, and Falcons, I mean, I wish you the best. I hope you can battle it out, but ultimately I do think the Buccaneers are going to win the division. Raiders, I'm rooting for you guys to get the #1 seed because I don't want to see the Giants get Cam Ward. That, ladies and gentlemen, is going to do it for my Week 15 NFL reactions. But before we go, I'm going to give you guys my Pulse Metrics performance of the week. Secret to it, it's easily Jared Goff. 494 passing yards and 5 passing touchdowns. It's easily going to do it. I know they lost, but still, it was a great day for Jared Goff. It's not about if they won or lost. It's about the individual performance that they had. And Jared Goff by far had the best. Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to do it for my NFL Week 15 reactions. I hope you guys had fun with this, and if you did, please make sure to voice yourselves in the comments who you thought had the best performance, what was your favorite game of the week, who you think is going to win MVP. Either way, I'll see y'all guys the next time I upload. Peace.